much part of BJP, and he is the one who is leading the campaign. That's a different issue. Now, once we are discussing, Madam Fardina is saying Chinnapareddy Commission. Chinnapareddy Commission, as said, categorically said, BP Mandal Commission's castes within Muslims, which are there, sects within Muslims, are 90, and out of which these are the people who are backward. In fact, Chinnapareddy Commission, Deve Gowda ji basically did not agree to Chinnapareddy Commission, and he himself has said that I am not with Chinnapareddy Commission. And Chinnapareddy Commission is not the one which gave the Muslims the reservation. Deve Gowda ji unscientifically announced for entire Muslims, even the Shia Sunni and other Muslims, Bora Muslims, who are very rich Muslims per se by the community wise, and he has announced it for everybody. How can it be justifiable? Entire Muslim reservation according to...
Okay, I have just enough time for B.S. Arun. B.S. Arun, how do you see this playing out in Karnataka?
See, BJP is trying to get maximum mileage out of it, but as for
electoral gains, will they have electoral gains?
But then now, with Supreme Court coming, staying this, and BJP will have a tough time in convincing people about their advantages or how they are going to, ensure it's some implementation. It's in a catch-22 situation for, it's now a catch-22 situation for the BJP. It will find itself difficult in explaining its stand and making the people convinced about, its sincerity in implementing this.
All right. Ashok Gowda, Lavanya Balal, Ms. Farzana and B.S. Arun, thank you so much. Shifting focus to debate 2. Whether Nitish Kumar's government's decision to tweak jail rules has sparked a political war as dreaded Bahubali and murder convict Anand Mohan has walked free. On Monday, the Bihar government has issued, remember, a notification to release 27 prisoners who have completed 14 years of their life term. It's become a big political hot potato in Bihar. Let's listen in to the sound bites.
जो क्रिमिनल होगा उसको अटल जी क्यों जो है सो साथ बिठाएंगे, लालू जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे, नीतीश जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे, मोदी जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे? फ्रीडम फाइटर परिवार है मेरा, यह क्रिमिनल कर सकता है क्या?
Bihar government is unconstitutional, it is arbitrary, it is unnecessary, it is against the public interest, and Nitish Kumar should come before the public and say what was the basis of the decision.
आनंद मोहन का उस हत्या से कोई संबंध नहीं है. हम सबकी बात नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अधिकांश लोग जो है कोई अपराधी प्रवृत्ति के नहीं.
So among the 27 who have been released is former Bihar MP Anand Mohan, who was serving a life sentence for the killing of IS officer G. Krishnaiah in 1994. In fact, the notification was issued on Monday evening, when incidentally, Mohan, who has been on parole, was celebrating the engagement of his son Chetan Anand, who is sitting RJD MLA. Remember, this also comes after Nitish Kumar's government amended the Bihar Prison Manual in April, removing the murder of public servant on duty, which is a clause from the list of cases for which remission of jail term cannot be considered. BSP Chief Mayawati and the BJP have strongly criticized the premature release of Anand Mohan, accusing the Bihar government of being anti-Dalit and emboldening criminals for the return of Jungle Raj in the state. Has the state government shown that votes tower above justice in state? Earlier today, I spoke with Padma, the daughter of Mr. Krishnaiah, and this is what she had to say. You were 4 years old when you lost your father, your father's murder convict. Mr. Anand Mohan has today been given remission and he is out on the streets of Bihar. What are your first thoughts?
Well, whatever decision the government has taken is kind of like very unfair to us, to the family, and also to the entire nation. That's what I personally feel. This is something that's definitely not expected. I just got to know about this yesterday, and well, this is something that was really not expected of Bihar government, because I think Nitish Kumar-ji pretty well knows the kind of service my father had done when he was posted in Bihar. I mean, his service is known to the entire state of Bihar. So I think the decision that has come out right now, I don't know how it's impacting the other people, but it's kind of like very difficult for us to digest this. And we're just hoping that something really positive happens. That's all I can say about it.
Are you hoping that the Bihar government will revisit its decision, or are you with the Dalit organizations which are looking at filing a PIL and challenging this remission decision of the Bihar government?
Well, I'll definitely go with the second thing. I'm hoping that, whatever, I mean, decision is taken by the government, I think everything should be taken into consideration. And I'm definitely not going to support, if they're letting him out and walk on the streets. It's just kind of like encouraging a criminal and nothing else. And what should be better than government to take a good decision? So I'm hoping that whatever decision comes out should be in favor of everybody.
And Padma, when you came to know about your father's death in 1994, where exactly were you? Your mother, I believe, was in Gopalganj because he was then serving as the DM of Gopalganj.
Yes. Well, I was 4 years old and my sister was just 1 year elder to me. So, I mean, I kind of like, to be very honest, I do not even remember, because at 4 years old, I mean, you know how kids are. We hardly have any memories. But the kind of memories that I shared with my dad were so strong that I still kind of like relive them whenever I look at the pictures and everything. But the impact is a lot. Because my dad being such a good person, if something can happen like that to a person like him, I think in a country like India, anything can happen.
So a lot of disappointments there in the family, Padma. I can certainly sense that, and rightly so, because you feel perhaps betrayed by the Bihar government, and in particular from the Bihar Chief Minister, by the Bihar Chief Minister. Padma, would you say that this should have been handled better? That a convict, a murderer of a civil servant or a public servant should not have been allowed to let go, should not have been let go the manner in which Mr. Anand Mohan has been?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody today, are taking interviews and talking to us. So everybody around the nation know that the decision that has been taken is definitely not the right thing. Right? Everybody is kind of like coming and interviewing us, and I'm pretty sure nobody is going and interviewing Anand Mohan about it. So the entire nation knows what's the right thing and what's the wrong thing. I just don't understand how politicians cannot understand this, and they kind of like, wish that everything should work out in their favor and not in the favor of good people, which is something that I definitely don't agree with.
Yes, 1994 certainly changed your life and your family's life completely, and it has been a long fight for justice in various courts of Bihar, and Anand Mohan was sentenced. I mean, he was given life imprisonment, and then he is being released by getting this remission because the Bihar government has gone ahead and changed the jail manual. Padma, what is your mother's reaction? I haven't been able to speak to Umaji.
Well, like I said, my mother is a very strong person. She's extremely strong. I mean, she is definitely trying to kind of like, control her emotions. All that she would like, because it's been 29 years and it's been really very tough for her. But I mean, whenever something like this comes out, it kind of like gets very difficult for us to take care of her. But she's trying to manage.
And is the family looking at challenging it legally?
That is something I personally am not aware of. That is something my mother should be doing. My mom from the beginning has not allowed us much to get into all of this. She always wanted us to stay away from all of this. So I'm not really sure about proceeding legally on this, but there should be something in place.
There should be something. But before I let you go, I want to understand who told you about this decision of the Bihar government, and are you of the opinion that this will embolden criminals they are getting away with an act of this nature?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think nowadays I was feeling a little kind of like safe, because a lot of criminals like this are not being encouraged by law. But something different like this coming up has kind of like shaken me as well. Like I said, I'm just hoping that the Bihar government takes the right decision and kind of like thinks about us, because my father has done a lot for the people of Bihar. And, I hardly have any memories because my dad used to hardly stay at home. He always worked for the people. So, yeah.
A disappointed daughter. In fact, Padma was just 4 years old when her father, District Magistrate of Gopalganj, was lynched to death by a mob that was led by Anand Mohan in 1994. And earlier today, I also spoke with the former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar and BJP MP Sushil Modi, who has called the state government's move unconstitutional and a threat to the law and order in the state. क्या हो रहा है बिहार में? आनंद मोहन एक कन्विक्ट हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया के फर्स्ट पॉलिटिशियन हैं जिन पर लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट का सेंटेंस मिला था, और नीतीश कुमार की सरकार उनको छोड़ रही है, इस तरह से छुड़ाती है उनको, तो ऑपोजिशन क्या करेगी?
देखिए, ये केवल आनंद मोहन का विषय नहीं है। आनंद मोहन के साथ 27 जो ड्रीडेड क्रिमिनल्स हैं, जो शातिर अपराधी हैं, जिन लोगों ने सरकारी कर्मचारी अधिकारियों की हत्या कर दी और जिनको आजीवन कारावास की सजा हुई, वैसे लोगों को नीतीश कुमार की सरकार जेल से रिहा कर रही है। और 27 में 7 ऐसे शातिर अपराधी हैं जिनको हर माह 2 साल तक थाने पर आकर उनको हाजिरी देनी पड़ेगी। और देखिए, अभी से टेलीफोन आने लगे जिलों से कि जिन लोगों को छुड़ा जा रहा, वो अपने अपने इलाके के शातिर अपराधी लोग भय के साए में जी रहे हैं। और ये सारा कुछ किया जा रहा प्रधानमंत्री के सपने को पूरा करने के लिए। उनको प्रधानमंत्री बनना है, तो अपने उस सपने को पूरा करने के लिए उन्होंने जेल मैनुअल में संशोधन कर दिया। इसलिए हमारे मानना है कि दिस डिसीजन इज अगेंस्ट द पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट, इट इज unconstitutional, it is arbitrary, it is unnecessary, and it is anti-Dalit. And it is not only a question of Anand Mohan. Along with Anand Mohan, more than 27 dreaded criminals are being released from jail.
Yes, because...
And out of these 27, half a dozen of criminals are convicted because of murder of SC and ST sarkari karmchari.
Yes, because this is about murder of a public servant, Mr. Modi. Is the BJP and particularly you, क्योंकि आपने बहुत सारे PILs पटना हाई कोर्ट में in the past फाइल किया है, are you planning to take this up legally?
See, many of the Dalit organizations, they are planning to file PILs, and I think that even in Delhi there are many social activists or Dalit activists. They will definitely file PIL in this case, because it is not only Anand Mohan who is accused of a murder of a Dalit IS officer. More than half a dozen of those convicted, they are accused of murdering Dalit officers. क्योंकि देखिए, जो प्रावधान को संशोधन किया गया है जी, उसमें यह संशोधन किया कि अगर कोई सरकारी कर्मचारी अगर सेवा अवधि में उसकी हत्या हो जाती है तो उसको जघन्य अपराध माना जाएगा। उसी को उन्होंने अमेंड कर दिया है। तो मैं तो नीतीश कुमार से जानना चाहता हूँ, इन 27 लोगों को रिहा क्यों किया जा रहा है, उसका बेसिस क्या है, उसका आधार क्या है। और आप ही ने 2016 में जेल मैनुअल के अंदर उस सेक्शन को रिप्लेस किया जिसमें था कि रेप के केस का कोई एक्यूज अगर मर्डर करता है, अगर कोई आतंकी घटना में किसी की हत्या करता है, किसी तस्करी में हत्या करता है, ये सारे जघन्य अपराध माने जाएंगे। और उसी में यह भी प्रावधान था कि अगर ड्यूटी के दौरान किसी सरकारी कर्मी की हत्या होती है तो उसको अपराध माना जाएगा। और वैसे लोगों को अब छोड़ रहे हैं। और जिस आनंद मोहन को जब मदद करने की आवश्यकता थी तब तो लालू यादव ने मदद नहीं किया और नीतीश कुमार ने मदद नहीं किया, और आज 14 साल के बाद उनको जेल से रिहा करने में मदद कर रहे हैं ताकि 2024 का जो लोकसभा इलेक्शन है उस चुनाव को जीता जा सके।
नहीं, आनंद मोहन का क्या अभी भी इतना दबदबा है कि उनके रिलीज से 2024 के इलेक्शन पर इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा?
देखिए, दबदबा हो कि ना हो ये विषय नहीं है। ये बात अलग है कि 2010 के विधानसभा चुनाव में आनंद मोहन को 20 सीटें मिली थी लड़ने के लिए, 20 सीट हार गए थे। लोकसभा का चुनाव खुद और पत्नी हार के थे, वो सवाल नहीं है कि आपका क्लाउट है कि नहीं है। सवाल है कि क्या ये रूल ऑफ लॉ है, आपने जेल मैनुअल को क्यों अमेंड किया, किस बेसिस पर अमेंड किया। तो केवल ये प्रयास है कि ऐसे लोगों को जेल से हम रिलीज कर देंगे तो कल हमको चुनाव में मदद मिल पाएगी। मदद मिलेगी कि नहीं मिलेगी ये एक अलग विषय है। और देखिए, जो सरकारी कर्मचारी थे उनको जो एक कवर मिला हुआ था, सिक्योरिटी कवर मिला हुआ था कि अगर कोई उनकी हत्या कर देता है तो वैसे लोगों को कानून से कोई राहत नहीं मिलेगी। आज वो सिक्योरिटी कवर, जो कवच था, वो आपने छीन लिया। सरकारी कर्मचारी डरे हुए, घबराए हुए हैं, दलित घबराए हुए हैं। और अभी मेरे पास जिलों से फ़ोन आ रहा है, क्योंकि जो लोग छोड़े जा रहे हैं वो अपने अपने इलाके के वो डिटेड क्रिमिनल्स हैं। वो जब जेल से छूट कर आएंगे तो लोग डरे हुए हैं कि हमारा क्या होगा, वो बदले की भावना से कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं। तो ये नीतीश जी, एक और उत्तर प्रदेश है जहाँ पर जो अपराधी यूपी छोड़कर भाग रहा है, और दूसरी ओर बिहार है जहाँ अपराधियों को जेल से रिहा किया जा रहा है।
सुशील मोदी जी, 1994 में जब ये घटना घटी थी तो उस वक्त भाजपा, जेडीयू, नीतीश कुमार, आप लोग सब मिलकर के इस इशू को आपने रेस किया था। ये पॉलिटिकल पॉइंट बन गया था ऑफ ऑल द ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज अगेंस्ट द देन regime of Lalu Yadav. What do you think has changed? Why is Nitish Kumar in allowing this kind of change in the remission rules?
नहीं, देखिए, आपने ठीक याद दिलाया कि 1994 में जब लालू यादव की सरकार थी जिसमें घटना घटी और दर्जनों घटनाएं घटी, बीजेपी जेडीयू ने मिलकर समता पार्टी ने उस लड़ाई को लड़ने का काम किया था। लेकिन आज चूंकि नीतीश कुमार लालू की कृपा पर बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, वो अपने बलबूते बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री नहीं हैं, आरजेडी और लालू यादव की कृपा से हैं। और आरजेडी किस प्रकार की पार्टी, देश की जनता उसको जानती है, इसलिए आज उनकी मर्जी पर है, इसलिए उनके दबाव में है। अब तो मालिक का बयान आ गया कि टाडा में बंद जो लोग, उनको रिहा किया जाए। तो ये तो प्रेशर में है, दबाव में है। और फिर इनका सपना पीएम बनने का, तो इनको लगता है कि शायद कहीं आनंद मोहन और अन्य क्रिमिनल्स को हम रिहा कर दें तो वो हमारे काम आ सकते हैं चुनाव के अंदर। तो ये एक पॉलिटिकल डिसीजन है, इसका लॉ एंड ऑर्डर से कोई संबंध नहीं है, या केवल अपने राजनीतिक स्वार्थ के लिए, पॉलिटिकल गेन के लिए नीतीश कुमार ने इस प्रकार का निर्णय लिया है।
Ashwini Dubey, Supreme Court advocate. We have Professor Chitranjan Gagan. He is our RJD spokesperson. Abhishek Jha, JDU spokesperson. Abhishek Jha, is this the new social justice Nitish Kumar way?
See, whatever the government has done, it is as per the law. And it is very good that you have called up Sushil Kumar-Modi ji and we have heard his reaction. I was with him on different channels also. I got to know about his perception regarding the government. I just wanted to show one of the tweets which he has done on 13th of February. He has said, I can show this on your TV screen if you have the camera focused on it. Yeah. On this, he has said that आनंद मोहन जब 14 साल से अधिक की सजा काट चुके हैं और बंदी के रूप में उनका आचरण भी अच्छा रहा है, उन्हें रियायत देकर रिहा करने के कानूनी विकल्पों पर सहानुभूति पूर्वक विचार किया जाना चाहिए। राजीव गांधी हत्याकांड के दोषी बरी हो सकते हैं तो आनंद मोहन क्यों नहीं? Again, he has done a tweet and said that आनंद मोहन एनडीए के पुराने साथी रहे और उन्होंने नीतीश कुमार के साथ मिलकर चुनाव लड़ा था। दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना आनंद मोहन जी के जीवन और परिवार पर बहुत भारी पड़ी। You can judge his perception from single line.
No, I want to understand ये सब tweets कब आई हैं? ये सब tweets जब वो जेडीयू के साथ सरकार में थे।
13 Feb 2022. That means 2022।
हाँ, तो उस वक्त वो भाजपा और जेडीयू की सरकार थी, उनका ओपिनियन चेंज हो गया, डिसीजन आप लोगों ने लिया है।
Sorry. I have mistaken. It is 13/2/2023. That means it is this year only. And in the last line, he has mentioned that हत्याकांड में उनकी कोई भूमिका नहीं थी। See, Sushil Kumar-Modi ji himself is a judge, and he is claiming that हत्याकांड में उनकी कोई भूमिका नहीं थी, उन्हें मुक्ति मिलनी चाहिए ताकि वे सार्वजनिक जीवन में योगदान कर सकें। Can you see the dual face of BJP and their leaders? They are protesting that people like Anand Mohan ji should not be released. He has
आनंद मोहन जी अब बोलने लगे आप लोग।
survived the jail. Why not? He has been an MP sometimes.
But he has been a gangster. He is a don.
Do you have any proof?
Yes. Should I tell you what the court said?
Hi, you should tell me.
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
He was never a gangster. There are no accusations that he was a gangster. He was accused. And finally
He was
sentenced by the
convicted.
Supreme Court.
He was convicted in this murder case. Anand Mohan murdered. He killed a district magistrate. आपको फैक्ट्स ऑफ केस नहीं पता है तो आपको यहाँ पे अश्विनी दुबे हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के एडवोकेट हैं, वो सारा समझा देंगे. अश्विनी दुबे जी जरा सा इनको फैक्ट्स बताइए.
जी बिल्कुल. सी मरे जी trial court convicted him to death.
Yes.
Trial court, after considering the evidences, after considering that it was one of the dreaded offense where this gangster has killed an IAS officer on duty, then trial court sentenced to death. The High Court commuted the death sentence to life imprisonment. And the Supreme Court also upheld the decision of the High Court, meaning thereby he is a convict. Point one. Point two.
That means he committed that murder.
This means he has committed that murder. He is guilty of committing that murder. He is not accused but a convict. Yes. Now, the point two. So far as the remission policy is concerned, it's on the prerogative of the state, but there is certain limitations. Limitations is if the policy has been tweaked, amended, on arbitrarily or in order to take the political benefits, that too in a case where this dreaded offense has taken place and of a gangster who is a serious problem to the law and order and which has been found by the court itself. It means that the amendment which has taken place, that is arbitrary, beyond the constitutional ambit and also unfair.
Yes. So the amendment that has happened is that the Bihar government has dropped Rule 481(1) within bracket and A of the Bihar Prison Manual 2012, which is essentially that if anybody is convicted of a murder of a public servant, he should not be given any remission. So, Professor Gagan, those who have benefited from this rule or amendment are all convicts who have killed public servants, and they happen to be, a number of them happen to be also Dalits. So what kind of politics is the RJD doing in the state now?
देखिए, अभी सुशील मोदी जी का आप सुना रहे थे, उसका जवाब अभिषेक जी ने देने का काम किया है. यही सुशील मोदी जी के बयानों का कोई महत्व बिहार की जनता नहीं देती. क्या बोलते हैं, अपने बात का अपने कंट्राडिक्शन करना, केवल मीडिया में बने रहना. अभी अभिषेक जी ने आपको बताया कि जंग से यही सुशील मोदी जी का यह कहना था कि जब राजीव गांधी के हत्यारे को जब छूट दी जा सकती है तो फिर आनंद मोहन तो निर्दोष है, इनको क्यों नहीं.
लेकिन राजीव गांधी के जहां तक हत्यारे की बात है, प्रोफेसर गगन सुनिए हमारी बात, वहां उसमें उनके परिवार वाले भी, जो उनकी पुत्री हैं प्रियंका गांधी, उन्होंने भी बोला था कि चलिए हमने माफ किया. यहाँ पर क्या लेट कृष्णैया की बेटी से सवाल पूछा गया था? आपने सुना पद्मा ने क्या बोला? उन्होंने कहा कि डिसअपॉइंटेड है, आपकी सरकार ने बिट्रे किया है उनको.
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ, सुन लीजिए. दोषी पाए गए, सजा दी गई, लेकिन उसी में प्रावधान है कि अगर जेल में अगर उसका बिहेव सुधारात्मक है,
27 लोग जो हैं ये सब मर्डर किए हुए हैं, उन लोगों का सब कन्विक्टेड हैं, सब कन्विक्ट्स हैं जिन्होंने मर्डर किया है. नहीं सुनिए आप हमारी बात गगन जी, आप लोग पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं बिहार में जरूर, लेकिन आप लोग गलत पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं.
आप सवाल करती हैं तो जवाब सुन लीजिए, नहीं तो जो डिबेट.
चलिए बोलिए
सवाल अब बोलिए, मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ आपसे भी, और जो लोग जो सवाल खड़ा करते हैं, भाजपा के लोग की नैतिकता है? भाजपा लोग किस नैतिकता से बिल्किस बानो के साथ जो वहां पर हुआ गुजरात में सामूहिक बलात्कार, प्रेग्नेंट महिला के साथ सामूहिक बलात्कार हुआ, उसके सामने बच्चे के साथ बच्चा सहित और जो उस परिवार के 7 लोगों की हत्या कर दी गई, और जब उन लोगों को आजीवन कारावास का सजा मिला और उसमें 11 लोगों को बाइज्जत बरी ही नहीं किया गया। जेल के बाहर जो है सो उनका जो है सो बाजाबते से अभिनंदन किया गया, माला पहनाया गया, मिठाइयां बांटी गई।
Ashwini Dubey, you know, in terms of optics, just as bad it was in case of Bilkis Bano, similarly what we are seeing in case of Nitish Kumar. Here is a convict, a murder convict who has been welcomed the way he has been. This comparison that is being made about moral position, moral high ground cannot be taken by the BJP. Because there is an incident of Bilkis Bano as well.
State
अरे जो आपने बोला उसी का जवाब मांग रहे हैं।
नहीं मैं जवाब दे रहा हूँ, पूरा जवाब हुआ नहीं, सुन लीजिए। गुजरात में 2014 में संशोधन किया गया था, 1992 के जेल मैनुअल एक्ट को संशोधित किया गया था कि संज्ञेय अपराध में कोई अगर सजाता होता है, आजीवन कारावास किसी को मिलता है तो वह जीवन पर्यंत जेल में रहेगा। 2014 में भाजपा की सरकार ने अमेंडमेंट किया था 1992 के प्रावधान को, और उसके बाद 2014 में संशोधन किया गया, उसके बावजूद उसको दुरुस्त भी नहीं किया गया, बगैर दुरुस्त किए हुए, और 2022 में जो है सो उन लोगों को
Ashwini Dubey, this was a question that was expected. Please go ahead and respond.
नहीं, दोहरा चरित्र क्यों? बिहार में
this yes, okay, fine enough. Ashwini Dubey, respond.
There are three questions which is, so for Rajiv Gandhi's case in concern, Maria ji, the Supreme Court says the execution was not taking place, and that was the reason when the Supreme Court has already given benefit to certain other accused persons. The Nalini was given benefit of the order of the Supreme Court. She was released, point one. Point number two, the Gujarat remission policy is already under challenge by the
Supreme Court, yes. It is already under the scanner of the Supreme Court.
Of the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is also saying that whether the release which has been made despite the policy being in order, despite there is a policy, is based on any political appeasement and religious ground, or in order to appease the voters. Point number three, here why it is different for two reasons. One, the prison manual which was existed for decades, that prison manual was just changed few weeks back, 2-3 weeks back, in order to give benefit to a person who is leading a criminal syndicate and who is a known gangster, and not only gangster, who is...
But you know, the question being raised by Professor Gagan here is valid about one convict here and the other convict in a rape case in Bilkis Bano. So perhaps because the Supreme Court will be taking a view, we'll know about it very soon. So thank you so much, Ashwini Dubey, Professor Gagan and Abhishek Jha. We are slipping into a short break. Up next, the suspense is over. US President Joe Biden has announced that he will run for a second term. Kamala Harris will remain his vice president pick. Will it be a rematch with Donald Trump? We'll get you the latest from Washington, D.C. Stay with us.
Possibly even Tamil Nadu. Why is expanding to the south such an important part of the BJP's strategy or plan for 2024, and how easy or difficult may that be if, and I know it's a big if, but if the BJP were to lose Karnataka?
So yes, I think Zaka, that you are right, that winning state or states in southern India is extremely important to the BJP, because they don't want any part of India to be seen as a no-go zone for the BJP, and they want to shed that image of it being a Hindi party, a Hindi language party, or a north-based party. Just like, if you remember, in the 90s they had this image of being a Baniya kind of a party, a Hindu Baniya party, a shopkeepers party. These are the kind of epithets that used to be used for the BJP, that the same way that it's a Hindu majority party, doesn't look at non-Hindu areas, but they proved that wrong by getting into states in the northeast. People used to say northeast mein to BJP aa hi nahi sakti, and somehow they managed to make inroads out there. How they do it is a different matter. Now, as far as South India is concerned, it's always been a thorn in the flesh. They haven't been able to make inroads there because regional parties are very strong in southern India. In Karnataka, they are there, but very precarious situation, as we know. Now, as far as Kerala is concerned, they've been making strong attempts before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Now, Prime Minister Modi is the central focus of the campaign by the party. But this outreach to the Christian community is very interesting. And I don't believe that the outpouring that you saw today is just hospitality, as the Congress spokesperson would have us believe. They have been trying to reach out to the Christian missionaries, and they've also been trying to reach out to the youth of the state. The campaign in Kerala has also, been towards beyond ideological issues. As the clip that you played just now of Prime Minister Modi saying that, tired ideological battles is something of the past. Think about something new. So the new is going to be about development agenda, and that is why this Vande Bharat or that Yuvam program that they have, they want to reach out to those disgruntled youth who have moved away from the Congress-led UDF. So they want to bring those people into the BJP. So there seems to be some kind of a change, a minor change maybe, but the Congress is kind of confident that despite Mr. Modi being there, once Rahul gets into this outreach mode in the month of May, Rahul will be able to negate whatever impact Mr. Modi has done. They are that confident in Rahul Gandhi in Kerala.
Sujata, let me start with, Shilpa Nair of the BJP. The BJP has been a third player in the state of Kerala, where it's always alternated between the CPM and the Congress. Why should the people of Kerala give the BJP a chance? A party that has not got more than 10 to 12% vote share. Even in the last assembly elections, you had capped out about 12% vote share. In a triangular fight, any party that hopes to win needs to get at least 30% vote share. Shilpa, you have to unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Yeah, we have seen the communist government of Kerala, where they have not actually invested anything for the youth of Kerala. The main problem of Kerala is unemployment, and the government has not taken any steps so far for solving this issue. The main income from the people are liquor and lottery sales. They have not started any projects, any new initiative in Kerala so far. But whereas we see in, Modi-led governments, state governments, we have seen that a lot of employment has been generated. And this is the main problem in Kerala. Not only the youth, even the aged people have to go outside Kerala, even to the Gulf regions to find jobs, leaving their family all behind. So the employment opportunity is sort of zero. It is absolutely, there is no opportunity there. So we need a government like BJP who is promoting many schemes like Startup India, skill development, so that the youth of Kerala can be also in this journey, Amrit Kal journey, where we are also part of the development of India.
I also want to ask you specifically, before I go to the other panelists, about this outreach to the Christian community. We saw the Prime Minister go to a church here in Delhi on Easter Sunday. Today, I believe, just moments ago, various leaders of the Christian community have met with him. For a party that is painted, at least by the opposition, as anti-minority, why are you making this outreach?
Why not? The Christians are part of our country. The Muslims are part of our country. Why can't the BJP, see the Hindutva image, what the other parties are giving to BJP, it is only from them. Whereas it is Bharatiya Janata Party. It is not Hindu Janata Party. It is RSS, is Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. It is not Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh. So Christians and Muslims are part of our nation. And it is, BJP is doing a good thing by going...
United States President Joe Biden has announced his plans to contest the 2024 presidential elections for a second term in the White House. Vice President Kamala Harris will be his running mate. This announcement puts an end to the debate in the Democratic camp that Biden is too old to run for a second term. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is surging ahead in the polls to be the top contender for the Republican presidential ticket. So will we see a rematch between Biden and Trump next year? I'm going straight to Washington, D.C., where CNN's Jeremy Diamond is joining me live. Jeremy, thank you so much. Joe Biden has announced his 2024 presidential election bid. Is he the best bet for the Democrats, given Trump is ahead in the Republican race for the presidential ticket?
Well, the Democratic Party is certainly rallying around President Joe Biden for a second term. I mean, he has no serious challengers for the Democratic nomination, putting him in a stronger position heading into a general election. And today, President Biden making official that bid for a second term. Now, there's no question that despite the Democratic Party rallying around him, there are still questions about his viability as a presidential candidate. About half of Democrats and a majority of voters as a whole don't believe, according to the recent polls, that President Biden should be presenting himself for a second term. And a large part of that does have to do with questions about his age. At 80 years old, President Biden is already the oldest president in American history, and he would be 86 years old at the end of a second term should he win re-election. But the president and his aides, they are betting that his record of accomplishments, legislative accomplishments in his first term in office will ultimately carry the day. And what you also see in this re-election announcement video that the president posted earlier this morning is that he's still betting that his message from the 2020 campaign and from the 2022 midterms will carry forward. And that is that the country is still in a battle for the soul of the nation, in the president's words. And you see a lot of the imagery of the January 6th insurrection right at the beginning of that re-election announcement video from the president. So he's certainly hoping that the contrast with Republicans, and particularly those like Donald Trump, who continue to promote the lies about the 2020 election, will ultimately help him win over voters in the 2024 presidential election.
And Jeremy, what does Kamala Harris really bring to the table? There has been a lot of talk, even among Democrats, about her inactivity as vice president.
Yeah, Vice President Harris has certainly struggled in the polls. She has struggled to win over Democratic Party officials who once saw her as perhaps the future of the Democratic Party, but her performance as vice president has certainly raised questions about that. But that being said, there's no question that President Biden and his advisors see her as a political asset heading into this election, in part because of her relative youth, but also because of what we've seen from her more recently, which is taking up really a leading role in the fight for abortion rights here in the United States. And notably, today, as President Biden and Vice President Harris announced their bid for re-election, we will see Vice President Harris later today at Howard University, where she's going to be participating in a rally for abortion rights. So she's certainly taken a leading role, a leading voice in that fight, an issue that we know was crucial in the 2022 midterms and is going to be an important one heading into 2024.
Jeremy, before I let you go, my last question to you. After multiple legal losses and Fox News mega defamation settlement, do you think Donald Trump will continue with the rigged election claim on the campaign trail in a potential face-off with Joe Biden?
Well, he certainly has thus far. As we saw President Trump announce his bid for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, and he has continued since then to continue to parrot his lies about the 2020 election, claiming massive voter fraud in that election, claims that we know have been proven to be false. And so he's going to continue to make that message. But we're also seeing that Democrats certainly believe that if President Trump continues to do that, that's not going to be popular with voters. We saw in the 2022 midterm elections that a number of candidates who espouse those lies about the 2020 election, or who certainly made voter fraud and those kinds of arguments central to their campaign in the 22 midterms, that didn't work with voters. And in fact, voters rejected many of those candidates who ran statewide on those kinds of platforms. So Democrats are betting that if Donald Trump continues to do that, that it will certainly come back to bite him in the polls in 2024.
Jeremy Diamond, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Now we are leaving you with this campaign video that has been released by Biden camp, which says, let's finish the job.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote. When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election, because I know America. I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that everyone should be given a fair shot to succeed in this country.
Thank you for choosing us.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. And this is our moment. So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can, because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Mohan Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a nation that claims neutrality but is playing a dangerous double game when it stands exposed. It's taking contracts to manufacture weapons and arms for NATO forces to be sent across into Ukraine while filling up its own coffers, its parched coffers. While on the other hand, it is going and telling Russia that we are on your side and we want to buy cheap oil from you, while telling the world we are neutral, we are not getting involved in this altogether. This game is dangerous and it's a double game. And of course, past masters at deception stand exposed yet again. We begin this edition of The Right Stand with a super news break, an exclusive here on CNN News 18. Cash-strapped Pakistan is looking for ways to make some money, and the nation's military sees an opportunity in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. CNN News 18's exclusive today is not about the role of Western nations in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, but Pakistan's deep and deceptive involvement in the Russia-Ukraine conflict to serve its own selfish interests. This conflict exposes, and the exclusive here exposes to the world, Pakistan's practice of adopting double standards and betraying its allies. This game of deception stands exposed tonight. What is this double game? Pakistan has been adopting a public posture of neutrality in the Russia-Ukraine war, especially in the international platforms, and has been advocating